right, this is our 13th annual Braveathon. I'm Vont, co-host of Morning Commute on Brave New Radio.
And I'm Robyn Snyder, Public Relations Chair for WPTV. We hope you're enjoying the show so far.
We're in the home stretch here, Robyn. We got 2 more bands getting ready to close out the show. If you go on our Instagrams right now, you'll see pictures and videos that you aren't able to catch during the live show. So check it out. Go follow us at Brave New Radio and at WPTV Network.
This portion of Braveathon 2023 is sponsored by Chloe's Restaurant Tapas. Chloe's Restaurant is a premier, authentic restaurant that proudly serves the Patterson area and beyond. Known for their tapas, such as their Cuban bites, street corn, and coconut shrimp, as well as their sandwiches and their tacos. Chloe's Restaurant can be reached at 973-938-5304 or at their restaurant located at 304 Grand Street in Patterson, New Jersey.
The next guy performing is a former computer engineer turned pop rocker, here to kick off hour 10 of our live music event. Please welcome Wise John.
Hi, folks. Figured let's just start it off, guys.
You stay, darling, must you go? It's awfully late to be driving home. Stand and wait for you to put on your clothes and then you leave me sick in the afterglow. You made me say I wouldn't get confused. It's only play. I shouldn't feel so used. A love vacation, a toy you didn't choose to sleep with, feeling sick in the afterglow. Hey, you caught me, now hang me out to dry. Darling, I'll be fine. A fish who thought he wouldn't feel the line feels it talking all the time. It's just how the bait's designed. I lie awake, I will not check my phone, it's too cliche. And I got pride for bones that you could break, but I'll never let you know the way you leave me sick in the afterglow. Drift to sleep, still sick with your afterglow. And hey, you caught me, now hang me out to dry. Darling, I'll be fine. A fish who thought he wouldn't feel the line, now I feel it all the time. It's just how the bait's designed.
You know, this is my first time ever playing a show in a quiet room, which is great. It's a blessing and also a bit of a curse. So can Barrett please clap? Thanks, Barrett. Barrett here is my girlfriend. So this is a special show. In addition to being my first time in a quiet room, this is, we're playing through an EP that comes out on May 5th. So next Friday, a week from today, if you're keeping track of the dates. And this is the second song. You just heard the first. It's called Afterglow. This one is a duet, and I wrote it about my parents. So this is pretty much a true story. It's called Atlanta. You ready?
Who is it that broke you so that you'd keep breaking everybody else? Did you fit your heart to hers before she left? 'Cause now you're trying them on like shoes from New Orleans to Santa Fe. I got way too much to lose to let you walk on me that way. So now I'm riding down the road to Atlanta, Georgia, towards my peace of mind. Oh, I'm riding down the road to Atlanta, Georgia. Leave your halfway love behind.
It's 2 years now since you've been gone, and I've been doing fine out on my own. You said to leave a message at the tone. See if it's just another voicemail getting lost out on the line. I'll speak honestly and tell you I can't stand being left behind. So now I'm riding down the road to Atlanta, Georgia, towards my peace of mind. Oh, I'm riding down the road to Atlanta, Georgia, to leave my halfway loves behind. I think I've been afraid too long.
Oh, I know,
But still I picture you
and want to marry you. I forgive you taking so damn long. On the road to Atlanta, Georgia, towards my peace of mind. Oh, I'm riding down the road to Atlanta, Georgia,
to leave my halfway love.
no more heartbreak, love.
Honey, put your
hand in mine.
Thanks, honey. All right. Thanks, guys. All right, well, that's the only time I'm playing guitar for this. So. Back to the real pro. Okay. That's called Atlanta. I was singing that just now was, the first one was Afterglow. This was Atlanta. And this next one is called Marry Another Man. The EP is called The Mr. Love Sunset Show. And it's kind of love songs from multiple angles is what I'd call it. A love song for every season. This one's sad. I'm sorry about it. Baby, I know you didn't mean to let this get so out of hand. When you said you would leave, I didn't thank you. Would leave for more than just a couple one-night stands. Oh, I'm the one that you come back to. How could you go and marry another man?
We've had 100 sweet reunions. We have cried 10 years last goodbye. Please let me form my own opinion. Oh, look up and let me see no love inside your eyes. Oh, you know me best. You've never seen me beg, but now I'm begging, begging. Ooh, don't marry another man. I thought I held the winning hand, but you left me holding aces high. Darling, I'm done playing games. Understand, I would do anything to give you my love. All I need is one more try. We could get married in the springtime, or tonight for all I care. Long as I have you for a lifetime, I'd say the vows in City Hall with no one there. All that matters is I'm the one to take you home, and I'm the one to hold you when we're finally alone. So please, darling, don't marry the other man.
All right. Listen, we're gonna have a little fun now. We had some kind of sad times there, and then we had a soft duet that was a happy time, but it was not a high energy time. And now we're gonna have some fun times. So this next song and the last one, it's called Mr. Love. Originally, it's kind of a Motowny thing, but just for kicks, we're gonna play this as like the Grateful Dead covers Mr. Love by Wise John. That's me. All right. Let's give this a little piano, huh?
Who ate all your sad day sorrows? Only Mr. Love can do. Took an endless tune of blue tomorrows, wrote the do it dance for two. When it's cold outside, you feel warm in the light. Hey, Mr. Love. Hey, Mr. Love. Hey, Mr. Love. The secret empty spaces, no good lonely place in the atmosphere. You know you're going nowhere, a soul that drifts in wide and wasted mirror. But something's near. Today, who today, who ate all your Saturday sorrows? Only Mr. Love can do. Took an endless
this tune and blue tomorrows. Rode the hook to a dance for two. When it's cold outside, you feel warm in the light. Hey, it's the love. Take us to the bridge. That's alright. And if one day love cannot be found, a silent film that's lost its sound, do cry to your favorite scenes. Another gift, Mr. Love brings. Justin guitar CEO. Guitar. Alexander, give us a little flourish on the drums. Yeah. Liam, give us a fill. Thank you so much. I'm Wise John. Oh, how about that? It's time to stop.
Let's hear it again for Wise John.
Once again. Wow. You guys are great. If you love Wise John's performance just like we did, keep it locked because Robyn and I are going to sit down and catch up with them right next on our 13th annual Braveathon, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Braveathon. I'm Robyn Snyder.
And I'm Vont Leak. We'd like to thank Chloe's Restaurant and Tapas for sponsoring this portion of Braveathon 2023. Chloe's Restaurant is a premier and authentic restaurant that proudly serves the Patterson area and beyond. Known for their tapas such as the Cuban bites, street corn, and coconut shrimp, as well as their sandwiches and tacos. Chloe's Restaurant can be reached at 973-938-5304 or at their restaurant located at 304 Grand Street in Patterson, New Jersey.
Fresh off the Braveathon stage, we're sitting with Wise John.
Hello, my guy.
It's so great to have you here.
Hello, happy to be here.
You just rock the stage. I need to know, right? I said rock the stage, but your Instagram bio says, great journalism. It says folky, proggy, jazzy, power pop, alt rock.
Right.
How do you define all that in a nutshell?
I mean, so first fun fact, Justin, my guitarist that was just on stage,
Yeah.
he came up with that, like, without fanfare. He, like, texted it to a friend and sent me a screenshot. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's my Instagram bio.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'd say, like, defining my genre has been a struggle because it seems like it's different every song. And also, you don't really know till you put it out, and then you find out that something that you were submitting to, like, rock playlist turns out to be, like, power pop or something, a genre that you didn't really know what it was. But, I mean, I'd say, like, altogether, it comes with, the way I would describe my music is, like, lyrics are forward, but it's always, hopefully, accessible. Like, I like to write things that musicians feel like is challenging and fun, and people that don't know music feel like it's something new, but it's still, like, it catches, you know, it's catchy.
Yeah.
And you know, in order to, there's a little bit of the folk stuff, like Atlanta, and then there's a little bit of the rock stuff, like The End and a lot of my other stuff. And it all kind of comes in there, but ultimately it's like, I think it's kind of pop, but it's weird pop.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I think one theme that I noticed within your songs, though, especially like the later two ones that you had, like Marry Another Man and Mr. Love, is that it seems to center a lot around like relationships and what comes of that. How have your relationships influenced your music?
Well,
getting deep here.
That is a deep one. I mean, so part of the thing I'd say, interestingly, is like the first album that I came out with, and a lot of my other music, is not focused on love, and I sometimes have a harder time writing love songs, so this EP was kind of a challenge for me in that way. But yeah, these particular ones definitely, I mean, Marry Another Man that story didn't exactly literally happen to me, but there's like pieces of it that I gathered from. Do you care to tell
what parts did or didn't happen? You care to share? You're in the hot seat.
Yeah, I am in the hot seat, huh? Well, so I had a long-term relationship that fell apart, and then they ended up, you know, as they do, you know, dating somebody else, and that's the one that put the feeling into it. But then completely separately, and what gave me the idea for the song is, you know, there's a friend of mine, honestly, but we were each other's like first relationship way back in high school. Yeah. And one time she was like thinking of getting married to a guy, and I remember, even though like we'd long since been friends and it's totally chill, it just kind of hit me. I'm like, oh my God, this is a person that I've dated, and she's gonna get married. It felt real, and I had the idea for the song. And then also my brothers recently gotten divorced, and like I fed some of that feeling and understanding of what he's been going through into the song. So that's where it comes from.
That's really beautiful.
It's kind of sad, but like I'm glad that you're able to evoke, take that emotion and put it into music. But like, how do you feel like, as you know, I feel like there's so many artists and bands that say like, oh, well, like I'm gonna create something out the norm, something out of the box. What do you feel like it is that Wise John does that like is different than other people, like other bands and artists that do what you do?
Yeah. I mean, I think to some extent everybody thinks this, but like I've lived a life that has a lot of things to draw from. Yeah. You know, I also never particularly, I wasn't thinking I was going to be a musician as any sort of primary career. It's always just something that I loved that filled up the spaces in my time. And I wanted to be like a scientist or something. And my undergraduate was in computer engineering. Yeah. And I worked for NASA for a while and like made space robotics stuff. And then I worked for a medical device company. I think my old boss might be listening, but so I've had this whole other existence, I guess, and I'm also sort of personality-wise, I certainly don't see myself as a rock star type, you know. So I think I can put that, and also just I spent the first 25 years of my life never intending to capitalize on my music, and I'm really grateful for that, in that like my songs come from a place of not telling it to anybody, that I'm telling it to myself. And that aside, you know, that's all kind of highfalutin, but I do think I write pretty like harmonically complex things that hopefully fit together.
We agree.
I think it absolutely does. And I think along with that, it seems like music has sort of swept you up on this journey. What is the most important thing that you've learned while making music?
Well, I mean, part of the reason, I guess part of what compelled me to do this is I had, right before I started the last job that I left in last January. So like at this point, 3 years ago, I had kind of this, so I have some chronic illnesses. I'm wearing the glasses because I've got like severe chronic migraine headaches, and I've got a couple other things, and most of the time they're pretty manageable, but there's been 2 times in my life where they've kind of come together in this like perfect storm. And I was living in Hong Kong at the end of 2019.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and that was when the protests were happening, and the kind of like civil everything started collapsing, and all the restaurants shut down, and my food allergies couldn't be handled, so I got really sick and kind of went into like a bit of a coma when I went home.
Jesus.
And like a relationship fell apart at the time. Sort of all this stuff happened at once.
Like a downfall.
Right. And then I started working pretty much right after I got better enough to do it, but I never really dealt with all that stuff. And I think a big reason why I left to focus on this for a while was like, I'm trying to figure out how to make what happened to me mentally not happen to me again, you know? So to me, music is resilience, you know? It lets you say things that you don't know how to say otherwise.
Yeah. Well, we love that, and we're looking forward to some of the music that, like I keep saying to you, like I love and appreciate people who can take all those emotions and not compartmentalize. That's not the word, but like take it all, bottle up, and put it into something so amazing. And I'm hoping, and you can confirm right now, if that's what we're getting on Afterglow, the EP that you're dropping, what, next week?
Yeah.
What can we expect from that? What is Afterglow for Wise John?
So I just played it, first of all. And then Afterglow is the like final track to come out. The other 3 are actually already out on Spotify. You can listen to them now. But then the EP as a whole, Mr. Love Sunset Show, it's sort of like a view of love from different angles. And then the last song, Mr. Love, is like kind of from like 20,000 feet looking down. I don't know. I mean, I think like it's a little retro. I think it's fun. And the songs like seem to be hitting pretty well with people. I don't know. I tried to take like a kind of lighthearted approach to it. It's not, even though some of the songs are sad, it's not like, it's a fun album, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think we're all excited to see it. And I
Thanks.
think just for the people at home, what is the best advice you've been given? Just real quickly.
Oh. I mean, the first thing to come to my head, there's no way that she would hear this. I think her name was Tiffany, but I don't remember her last name.
Tiffany's watching.
And I don't know how to find her, but I was working in a biological research lab as an internship as a high schooler, and a high schooler has nothing to contribute to biological research. I was there to, you know, satisfy the urge of the postdoc to do some community service, and you know, and I spent the whole time trying to learn things and yada yada yada. And at the end, this postdoc Tiffany like chewed me the hell out and was like, "You didn't write a single thing down. I don't care if you can remember it all. Like, it's about respect and about understanding the fact that like this person was doing you a favor, and you need to show them like, you know, that you understand the power dynamic that you're in." And I feel like weirdly that's the best piece of advice that I have, is like understand when somebody's doing you a favor, and like give them that respect.
I love that.
Thank you. You know, you don't need to do something back because sometimes you can't. You know, there's nothing that you can offer to them except for just being like, I recognize that you've done something for me.
Showing your appreciation is just enough.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Hey, thank you so much, John, for coming out today. Wise John, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. When we come back, this is it. It's our final performance of this year's Braveathon.
Keep watching and listening, because our last performance
Interview.
is
We're going to start with the interview this time.
Our last interview is from a rock band, Raising Arizona.